have a way to track the things you can measure. Again, start with what's most important first, and then what are the things that you can tangibly track? Did I read today? Yes or no? Did I work out today? Yes or no? Did I be a better person? I can't really track that. But just by tracking and measuring these things, you're statistically more likely to achieve them. Welcome back to another episode of the Elite Business Advice Podcast. My name is Chris Moore, the founder of Elite Business Advisors, your host here for the podcast. Happy 2026. I feel like I am just now starting my New Year's after being up in Minnesota last week with some great friends. New Year's, I feel like, was weird this year. Like, it fell on a Thursday, and then a lot of us worked on Friday, and then I was gone all of last week up at the winter retreat with Nick Slavic and some of my great friends. So far, it's been the best retreat of 2026. That is until July hits and the Elite Business Retreat happens. We are on pace to sell out this year, so please get your tickets today. If you want to join us in July here in St. Louis, we only have a total of 70 tickets available because we keep this a smaller, intimate event. And so head on over to our website, elitebusinessadvisors.com/retreat for all the details and to buy your tickets. Shameless, quick plug that I didn't even mean to have pop up into here. But with that being said, if you were like many people, myself included, you probably didn't spend as much of the holiday break thinking about 2026 as you wanted to, and that's okay. Because I want to share with you today one of my favorite exercises to do every year. But this honestly is something that can be done quarterly, can be done monthly, really at any frequency. You can kind of stop and reset. So even if you're finding this episode later on in the year, don't be afraid to stop and go through this exercise. But I love it because it can be done personally and it can be done for your business. And if you do this, it will help get those right rhythms together that you need to make 2026 a fantastic year. So I hope it helps. Thanks for plugging in. This is the Elite Business Advice Podcast. All right, so before we dive in, why do New Year's resolutions not work? I personally believe that they don't work because, one, we make it too big of a deal. We're like, oh, we have all these resolutions, but there's not the action behind it. But more importantly, we try to do too much at one time, and we overwhelm ourselves and we overwhelm our bodies. There's plenty of studies out there, plenty of top thought leaders in the personal development space will share a lot that it's much more impactful to make one or two changes, build a habit with it, and then make one or two changes, build a habit with it, and eventually work through a list of 6 to 8 to 10 to 12 or whatever things that you want to do. Right? A lot of people come into the new year and they're like, I'm going to go to the gym 4 days a week. Well, you haven't been to the gym 4 days in 4 years. So, okay, that's fine. They also try to make sure they're on some sort of a diet or whatever. They're also going to try to read every day. They're going to go to church every week. They're going to do their daily Bible study. They're going to, I already mentioned read every day. We're going to listen to 3 podcasts a day. We're going to have, a date night every week with my spouse. And all of a sudden that list of 12 things, which I admire and appreciate, quickly, after 1 or 2 weeks, they're like, this is exhausting because they're trying to build 12 new rhythms and habits instead of 1 or 2. Okay. So as we think through what you want to accomplish this year, I think that I would just encourage you, after everything we're going to go through, especially when we get to the start part of this exercise, pick 1 or 2 things, get really good at them for at least 30 days, and then see if you can add on 1 more and get really good at it, and then add on 1 more, right? So don't try to new year. I think there is real quick, I do want to say this about the new year. There is psychology in using the new year. A lot of times I think it's just we're coming out of the fog of the holiday season, the craziness, the sickness, the kids being home. I know our family, because of our oldest was sick for a few days around New Year's, we were pretty much together for 10 straight days, and we could feel it. All of us with each other, not just parents, my wife and I with the kids. like we all needed a break. Like me going to Minnesota, I think was very well timed to just disrupt what had become just a habit of 10 days, right? So I think there's psychology in using like this new year. It is, kind of a fresh, clean slate to start. So I think there's psychology in that. But again, I would just encourage you not to do 6, 7, 8 things because you're just going to probably set yourself up for failure. Focus on like the 1, 2, maybe 3 at most, depending on how it plays out and how disciplined you are. Most important things to focus on first, and then kind of work through the rest of them. Okay. So the exercise I want to talk through here, and this will be a nice kind of short episode because I want to just make it short and impactful. It's called Stop, Start, Keep. Super easy, right? Stop, start, keep. So I'm going to break it down into 3 sections here, and then I'll leave you with a couple of kind of thoughts and how to make sure that all the things we're going to talk about here are successful in implementing this year. I'll wrap up the episode with that. So number 1, stop. Let's think about the things and let's focus personally first and then business second. So I'll kind of walk you through and give you some examples with each of these, okay? What are the things that you're currently doing that you need to stop? Maybe it's something like doom scrolling on social media for an hour in bed every night. Maybe it's you need to stop overeating and going back for seconds, thirds, and fourths. Maybe it's we just need to stop buying the sweets at the grocery store. Maybe I'm speaking a little too personal here. What are the things you need to stop doing in your life to make this year better and to get into who you want to become this year? But the more important thing behind this is, what does this open up for you to start doing? And what I mean by that is, how does stopping things open you up for the things that you want to start doing that I'll talk about in a second? Example. If I don't sit in bed and scroll on social media for an hour at night, what can I do with that hour to live the life I want to live and be more of who I want to be? Maybe it is using that time to read. Maybe it's using that time to read your Bible and to sow into your spiritual life. Maybe it's spending time with your spouse and focusing on your relationship with them. Does that make sense? So stop. What are the things you can stop doing to then allow yourself to start doing the things that are more important? Okay. This is a great way to just go through and be like, what are the bad habits I have, right? I know every year around this time, I kind of cut back my use of listening to music. I think especially the holiday season, I end up listening to a little bit more music, and I'm powering through like end of the year numbers and just like tedious but mindless stuff. I always end up listening to a lot more music, right? And so like, one thing to stop is maybe listening to music, so that will allow me to start listening to more podcasts and audiobooks again, right? Like this is how I want you to think through this. If I stop doing these things, it then opens up my capacity to do this. Now, again, there can be the bad habits that we need to stop. Maybe you're somebody that is a smoker or, a chewer or whatever, right? And so you need to stop that. Maybe it's not opening up the door for something else to start, but it is something in and of itself, right? So it can be kind of 2 different things that we need to think about stopping. One that will allow us to start doing more things that are healthy and productive for us. The other one is just maybe it's a bad habit we need to stop so that we can live a healthier life, or again, whatever it is, okay? This can even go into, by the way, like more of a psychological thing too. So don't be afraid to even put things on here. And again, this is where it gets hard to like implement necessarily. But it's just good to refocus and come back and revisit this list that you make. And maybe it's even something just like, I need to stop being negative, or I need to stop living in the past. Our pastor did an amazing sermon last week about that, like staying future focused and not, living in the past. And that too many people get stuck dwelling on the past or living too far in the past or in the glory days, right? Whatever it is, and not living in the future, right? So it can even be things like that. Like I need to stop living in the past. Again, it'll allow you to start living in the future. What are the things in your business you need to stop? Here's a couple things that come to mind. Number 1, maybe it's hiring people with no process or structure. You need to stop doing that. A quick 20-minute phone call with somebody that can fog a mirror, and you tell them to show up on the job site on Monday. Like maybe we need to stop doing that. Okay, again, it'll allow us to start doing things differently. Maybe we need to stop. This is like a weird double, triple negative, we need to stop not following up with people. Follow up with them after you give them a bid, unless you really don't want the job, right? We know we need to stop that. Whatever it is, what are the things we need to stop doing in our business, either whether it's you in your business or, again, operations in the business. All right, let's go on to section 2. What are the things that I need to start doing in my life? Again, let's focus personally first. To give you a couple real life examples here. 2 things that I need to start doing this year. And if I'm being honest with you, if I only do these 2 things, I'm going to consider 2026 a huge success because I know that it will compound and the first thing will translate into more things. My 2 things, and then I'll add like the third, is I need to track every thing that goes in my body, food, drinks, whatever. I need to get back into tracking that, logging that. I always use MyFitnessPal. Again, there's something about the power of awareness that can be really helpful with this stuff. I don't always eat bad. I just always end up eating too much. And you don't realize how out of control your portions are until you actually weigh the chicken breast that you're going to eat. And you think like, oh, I probably eat like 6 to 8 ounces. No, you're eating like 14 ounces probably, right? So again, I'm speaking to myself here. So I know that I need to get my health and fitness in better shape this year. That's a huge goal for me this year. And in order to do that, I'm going to start tracking my food consumption. Because again, that awareness makes me make better decisions. And honestly, some of it's a laziness thing that I'm like, I don't really want to have to open it up and log the bag of chips. I'm just not going to eat the chips. Like, it's so crazy how just a little thing like that, when I get disciplined with it, can be helpful. The second thing I need to start doing, I need to start reading daily. I was in such a great habit many years ago before we had kids of reading every day because I had a morning routine, and I'm getting back into that. Thankfully, that's something I'll share on the Keep side of things. But I need to get back into being intentional about reading every single day, not just in little spurts here and there or in a couple week stretch or, a day here, a day there when I'm traveling, whatever. So that's my 2 big things. The third thing, I got to start working out more. But I'm focused on these first 2 things first, and then I'll get into the workout routine here very soon. So what do you need to start doing in your business? Maybe you need to start doing estimates on the spot. Maybe you need to start doing door hangers around every project that you do. Maybe that you need to start doing weekly structured meetings with your leadership, both as a whole and one-on-one. What are the things that here in 2026 you need to start doing? This might be a really long list, and that's okay. But what are the things you need to start doing? And then again, pick 1, 2 at the most, focus on it, and then come back and revisit this list. All right, last section, number 3. What are the things that I need to keep doing in my life? These are things that you have a pretty good handle on, pretty good grip on, that you just need to keep doing. Like, it's a good thing. We just need to keep on doing it. And I think it's good to take inventory of these things, because what do we as humans and as growth-minded individuals, if you're listening to this, I would say you're a growth-minded individual, argue with me if you want. What are the things we need to keep doing? Because we don't keep track of the wins. We don't celebrate the wins. We don't focus on the things we're doing well. We only focus on the problems we have and the things that we're not doing. So let's focus on what are the things that I need to celebrate that we need to continue doing. Again, for me personally, Bible plan. Like, the daily refresh in the Bible app, doing some Bible plans. I'm on like a 127-day streak. I had the 104-day streak before that. And when we made our trip to Clemson in August, somehow I forgot. If I don't do it in the morning, I always set a reminder for like 8 o'clock that night. I didn't even put the reminder in my phone. I know we would have been at the game. I would have found time to do it. It just literally, in the coolness of the day of going to the Clemson game that day, it got lost. And I was so mad. But I just said, you know what? It's okay. We're going to start fresh. And I'm on like, I think, a 127-day streak right now. That's something that I just need to keep doing. Again, I built a good morning routine. I've got kind of a contingency plan if my morning goes astray because of our kids. Again, I'll put a reminder in my phone. I'll make sure that it gets done. I'll make time for it at some point during my day. If I don't do it in the morning, that is a great thing that I just need to keep doing. Again, I'm going to add to it with the daily reading as well, but I just need to keep doing that. What's something in your life you need to keep doing? And then let's think about that for your business. What are the things you need to keep doing in your business? Maybe it's building up a good cash cushion, right? Hey, we've done really good at this the last 6 months. We need to keep doing it. We need to keep being consistent on our social media posting. We're doing great. We're posting 2 to 4 times a week. We're doing great with that. Hey, we're doing a great, monthly or bi-monthly email blast to our previous clients, value add. We need to keep doing that, right? And what are the things you want to take stock of that you need to keep doing both personally and in your business as we head into the new year? All right, stop, start, keep. Here's 2 keys that will help you with everything that I just shared, okay? Number 1, have a game plan and a schedule for things that are changing, okay? What is the plan? How am I going to do it? When am I going to do it? Here's my examples from my things, right? If I'm going to read daily, it's great for me to want to do that. It's great for me to be on here. I always love doing this too because it's like added accountability. I'll have one of you guys ask me at PCA Expo, like, hey, how's your daily reading going? I encourage it. I'm here for it, okay? But it's great for me to want to do that. But when am I actually going to do it? What's the game plan behind it, right? For me, I mentioned a second ago, I'm going to habit stack it with my morning Bible reading, right? I'm 10 to 15 minutes in that, and then 10 to 15 minutes of reading. And again, I'll have a contingency plan for if my morning goes astray because our kids wake up super early or whatever, like I kind of need that time to just be me. And so like, if that happens, this is what I'm going to do. Okay. I'm still working through 100% how and what the plan is, and am I going to do it at the office? But I think that's my plan as of right now. Again, as of recording this, I should say. So, we're going to try it and we'll pivot as we need to. Same thing with the food consumption, right? I'm going to use MyFitnessPal again. I've got it downloaded on my phone, like ready to start using it. And usually I built a habit of just doing it when I was eating whatever I was eating, right? So it was like, hey, I'm eating this, I need to log it. I'm eating this, I need to log it. So I want to create that rhythm and that habit. And again, after 21 to 30 days, it will just become a habit, in what I do. So that's my game plan. That's how I'm going to do it, right? Again, getting into working out, I'm hoping by like February that I've got a really good, these 2 things are going well, and that's next. It's going to be in my calendar. I'm going to have a game plan. When am I doing it? How am I doing it? What am I working out each day, etc. So, again, it's great to say I want to do these things, but what's the actual tangible plan behind it? Second thing, have a way to track the things you can measure. Again, start with what's most important first. And then what are the things that you can tangibly track? Did I read today? Yes or no? Did I work out today? Yes or no? Did I be a better person? I can't really track that. But just by tracking and measuring these things, you're statistically more likely to achieve them. So keep that in mind. You got to have the game plan. You got to have the what and the how and the when. But you also have to have a way to measure, am I succeeding in this? Am I not? Having it on a checklist will be helpful for you. So I encourage you guys, make some time to sit down, figure out what you're going to start doing, what you're going to stop doing, and what you're going to keep doing to make 2026 a great year, and reach out and let me know how I can help. Thanks for plugging into this week's episode. I hope you're able to take a few nuggets away from it to implement into your business. Remember, knowledge without implementation is useless. If you're curious about what we do and how we help painting contractors all over North America, schedule a free business analysis meeting with us at www.elitebusinessadvisors.com. Our entire team of advisors have ran and managed painting companies just like myself and are here to help support you on your journey. We have packages available for contractors at every stage of business, from flying solo and just starting out, all the way to multi-million-dollar businesses. And lastly, if you loved this episode, please leave us a rating and a review. It helps others on the platform find our podcast, and it could be the best blessing that's ever happened to them thanks to you. Thanks for plugging in, and we'll see you back for next week's episode.